Hi, this is Hannah, or Alejandra as my formal name. Nickname is Hannah. You can call me either. Not that you call me because you're watching a YouTube video, but you know what I mean. You can know me as either Alejandra or Hannah. I'm in a silly mood today. I don't even know why. It's just in the air, and I was like, am I really going to record a video when I'm this silly? And speaking about nonviolent communication, I guess, yes, it is. And oh my God, I'm realizing I think I have a need to be silly, or I have a need to be, God, it's like figuring out your needs is all what this video is going to be about. It's a trip. It's a freaking trip. If you have watched my videos before, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy this. So I would like to start here. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start, right? I'm so silly right now. I have a need to be silly. I have a need to be like a kid. Oh my God, that's it. I have a need to be playful and be like a kid. So, nonviolent communication. A language of life. What? That is so deep. It is so deep because it is so true. A language of life. So there's this lovely little red circle, like someone's saying something. And then this little lovely circle, hope you can see it, somebody's saying something. And in the middle of this beautiful Venn diagram, we've got empathy, collaboration, authenticity, and my favorite, freedom. Truly my favorite. This is the third edition. This has sold so many books. And this is the author, Marshall B. Rosenberg, PhD. This dude is so deep. I can't even. So I am in a coaching program right now, becoming a life coach, getting the skills, the tools. I've been months in my journey, and this is one of the books required reading for this program. And I swear to God, it's like a freaking godsend to me, because I'm reading it and I'm like, why was this never taught to me before? Oh my God. Why was it never taught in schools? This is the type of book we need to embed in like our cellular system, okay, when we are young, so that we know how to communicate with one another. I'm also reading, it's not required reading, but I'm really deep into Atlas of the Heart right now, Brene Brown's newest book. And it's in the same vein, right? Words, being able to describe feelings is a freaking gem to discover inside of you, so that you will be first of all, so that you understand yourself. And second of all, so you can communicate what you are feeling to the other person. Oh my God, it's that simple. It's so simplistic that it's mind-blowing, because you're like, what the heck? What the heck? Is it really this simple? Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is. Okay? So, here's what it says. I'm gonna keep referring to this book. Words and the way we think matters. Words and the way we think matters. Find common ground with anyone, anywhere, at any time, both personally and professionally. That is the promise of this type of communication. So nonviolent communication, NVC, if you're like in the lingo, if you're like one of the cool people that are like, hey, I'm cool, I'm down with this, call it NVC, bitch. I'm just kidding. Sorry for saying bitch. I have a need to be silly. Okay, so I would like to quote this one particular part of the book. So this guy goes and, look, I even wrote the Feelings Bible. I wrote that at the top of this. These are all different kinds of feelings. You know how many feelings? I think it was in Brene Brown's book. She said that they surveyed all of these people and they're like, tell us what you feel. And it was like sad, mad, and happy. Those were like the 3 feelings that people could identify. Look at how freaking many words there are on this page. Okay? The Feelings Bible. So if we do not have a vast vocabulary of words, we are not able to communicate how we feel so that it lands with the other person, so that we are deeply seen by the other who we're in communication, possibly breakdown with. Okay? So I want to give an example, because it was like, what if he could do this? If he could do this, this could save the world. If everybody spoke like this, or just had a vigilance, hypervigilance in the way they speak, right? And use the tools in here, there would be world peace. You can freaking quote me and post it on Twitter. This YouTuber, Alejandra Valenzuela, said that world peace will be achieved by this book and the tools and friggin' implementing them. Okay, so this guy, Marshall Rosenberg, he gets sent all around the world, right? He's got a PhD, psychology background, and he gives an example where he went to the Middle East. He went to the West Bank, and he was presenting NVC to about 170 Palestinian Muslims in a mosque at the Daheshi refugee camp in Bethlehem. Okay? Now, the interesting thing when I read this is I've been to the Daheshi refugee camp in Bethlehem. I went as an American woman, as a Chicana, because I'm also Mexican, as a Chicana representing los Mexicanos en los Estados Unidos and just a regular American in America. I went for my 33rd birthday. I'm so silly right now, but I love it. And you understand my needs, so it's like, I hope you get it. I hope you're like, why is she still being silly? Because I have a need to be silly. It feels so good to know what my need is in this moment. Holy shit. I'm sober, by the way. I want to also say that. I'm sober Sally. Okay. Oh my God, my cheeks are getting red. I can feel it. I'm getting a little blush. So I went when I was 33 years old, on my spiritual journey. I wasn't going to church. I talked about it in one of my birthday videos called like Solar Return. And I wanted to be in Bethlehem when I turned 33. I wanted to be in the place that Jesus was born. I had no idea why, I wasn't going to church, but like something in me, and now it makes sense years later, right? How deeply freaking spiritual I am, and how much I freaking love Yeshua. I love him with all my heart. I love his Christ consciousness. I love what he represents as an ambassador to planet Earth. I love him on so many freaking levels. So I'm so happy that I went to do this. So Bethlehem is in the West Bank. It's on the Palestinian side. And that's where I wanted to be. And I also wanted to volunteer when I was over there with different Palestinian NGOs. I would cross into Old City Jerusalem every day and be in Israel and, kind of get like the back and forth. Old City Jerusalem is amazing, by the way. Amazing. I could get lost there for like weeks, just like roaming the cobblestone streets and just like, oh my God, there's a holy site. There's a holy site. Just see this holy site, it's just, and the energy is just off the charts. You can feel the presence of saints walking on that land. It is truly the Holy Land. Okay, and I digress. So The first volunteer placement that I chose, it's a program called Love Volunteers. I'll put the link in the description of this video because it's freaking amazing. It's an NGO that places anyone in the world who wants to go volunteer at different programs around the world. So you get your housing, like housing is included, maybe your food, I guess it depends on what the program is, but all different placements around the world. And it's incredibly cheap, right? Because you're there as a volunteer, so you're supporting them with your work, but you get to go on vacation at the same time. It's a freaking win-win. It's a freaking win-win. So silly. It's my pixie. It's my pixie. You guys remember if you watched my intro to comedy, oh my God, my pixie, she's out in full force and effect. That's what's going on right now. I get it. I digress. So I'm there at the first placement I had in the West Bank was at the Daheshi refugee camp. Now, I didn't go to a mosque and sit with 170 Palestinian Muslim men to, talk about their attitudes towards Americans. I was actually there as a volunteer, so they welcomed me. And I was supporting them with grant writing. There was a video documentary project that they wanted to submit. And so I was looking at the paperwork. I was supporting them in the request, and I have a nonprofit background, so it was like perfect. But when I heard that Marshall Rosenberg went to Palestine at the Daheshi refugee camp, I was like, oh my God, I was there. Oh my God, that was me. So here's the deal. He walks in, and as he's speaking, he's noticing that all of these men are just like whispering. They're just like, whatever. And he's noticing the tension increase in the room, okay? And all of a sudden, someone shouts out in the audience, murderer, assassin, child killer. And this is a guy who's there to talk about nonviolent communication. Imagine the scenarios. And he talks about all over the world where he gets placed. So I wanted to read just a little quote so you could see the level of awareness and attention he needs to have in order to interpret the need behind what the other person is saying. Okay? So the guy's murderer, assassin, child killer. Imagine with the full force of his might, right? And all his Muslim brothers there, like, yeah, mofo, you're a killer. So this is what he asks him. Marshall Rosenberg, as the presenter, asks the gentleman who called him those names, are you angry because you would like my government to use its resources differently? Damn. Now that is a very different way of addressing it, right? Someone who didn't have the tools, right? We'd immediately, like me, for example, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I didn't get in a plane and drop a bomb on anyone. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't support I'd immediately go into defense mode. And so many of us go into defense mode when a straight attack, an assault is coming towards us, right? It's just what we do to survive, okay? So then the guy responds and he says, damn right, I'm angry. You think we need tear gas? We need sewers, not your tear gas. We need housing. We need to have our own country. Like, how do you respond to this kind of stuff? So then Marshall Rosenberg then asks him. So he's looking, what's the need? What is this man trying to say? And it's all about what are you feeling and then what's your need, okay? So he responds and says, so you're furious and would appreciate some support in improving your living conditions and gaining political independence? Oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine the man hearing him ask this. It's like when someone can see the feeling inside of you, and when someone can see and label and articulate the need, it's like I can feel it. My whole freaking body relaxes. I relax because I'm finally being seen. It totally continues. The guy's not stopping, okay? So he says, do you know what it's like to live here for 27 years the way I have with my family, children, and all? Have you got the faintest idea what it's been like for us? Whew. He's still fully loaded. He's still fully loaded with ammo, right? He's being heard, he's being listened to, but it's interesting, like the language that he's using now is softening, I would call it, right? He's no longer saying assassin, murderer, like these accusatory remarks, labels on this man. So this is how Marshall Rosenberg responds. Sounds like you're feeling very desperate. Feeling desperate. And you're wondering whether I or anybody else can really understand what it's like to be living under these conditions. Am I hearing you right? The guy's a freaking angel. Seriously? He is a freaking angel on earth, delivering the sweet, holy messenger of peace, the vibration of peace. I mean, the amount, and it's daunting when I read this. It's daunting when I read this, because I remember being there, surrounded by Palestinians. I blended pretty well in the Middle East. They thought I spoke Arabic on the West Bank side. And, that maybe I could have been like Moroccan or something like that, And it's interesting because I didn't feel this level of hatred towards me. The way he's describing like the finger pointing and murder assassin in his book, I never got that when I was there. They were very kind to me. Both sides, Israelis in Old City Jerusalem, super freaking friendly, so friendly. I landed in Tel Aviv and went to like Banana Beach and hung out there on the first day. Yeah, I just wanted some time, to chill before I crossed over into the West Bank. I met such cool people, super, super cool. And then on the Palestinian side, the same. What I sensed on the Palestinian side was extreme frustration. And yes, this energetic presence of desperation. So I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a proper way to address this in a way that lands and a way that creates peace. He says, the man, after he said, am I hearing you right? So the guy says, do you want to understand? Tell me, do you have children? Do they go to school? Do you have playgrounds? My son is sick. He plays in open sewage. My classroom has no books. Have you seen a school that has no books? So all of this, the guy just still continues. And he addresses it, he ends it. I won't quote all of it. I don't even quite know if I have permission. The copyright says you can quote little parts of the book, but not everything. So I won't quote it all. But I wanted to I wanted to say that at the end, it said that the gentleman felt understood, right? They came to some peaceful resolution of okay, this guy sees me. This guy gets me. This guy understands my needs that I'm expressing. And he ends up inviting him, the guy who called him a murderer ends up inviting him to his home to have dinner with his family later that night. I mean, if that's not spreading peace in the world, I don't know what is. So I cannot recommend this enough in terms of even a spiritual evolution where you can see yourself in your human nature, where we can see our automatic triggers, our automatic reactions where we go. This is a godsend. And oh dear God, I'm going to be using this in like every single relationship I have. Oh, especially with the people that trigger me the most. It's hard. It's hard to be this vigilant. It's not simple. The technique itself is simple, but to really masterfully be able to use it as your communication tool, it takes a lot of work. So that's my spiel. That's it for today. And so thank you so much. I do have an announcement. I'm going to be giving a talk for women on August 23rd. I'll put the link in my link tree. It's August 23rd at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called The Rhythm of the Cosmic Dance. Ole! Just kidding. And it is free. It'll be about an hour long. So if you're an awakened woman and you're looking for a devotional practice, something that really allows you to connect and support the woman that you have evolved into and to stay in this awakened space, right? This talk is for you. And we shall finally end on comedy. I am going to be doing a scene from Coming to America. It is the Akeem football scene. I'm excited for this because I'm in a silly mood. Coming to America is one of those movies I could watch any single time it's on TV. Dan Aykroyd is so snobby and hilarious, and Eddie Murphy is just pure, like, I don't even know. He's hilarious. He's hilarious. And the two of them together, I watched this movie so many times when I was younger. And oh wait, is Dan Aykroyd in Coming to America? No, I was thinking of Trading Places. Oh my God, I'm thinking of I'll do a scene from Trading Places in another one. But okay, Coming to America, Alejandra, Akeem. So who is it? Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall's in the movie, but he's not in this scene. So he's at McDowell's. He's working as, the bus boy, and Akeem talks football. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm in a silly mood, and we'll see how it goes. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you like it. Please comment so that the algorithm goes higher. I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, I present to you a scene from Coming to America. Akeem talks football. Mr. McDowell, I was wondering, did you happen to watch the professional American football game on television last night? No, Akeem, I didn't. Oh, it was most exhilarating. The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay. And in the end, the Giants triumphed by kicking an oblong ball made out of pigskin through a big H. It was a most ripping victory. Now, son, I'm going to tell you this one time. You want to keep working here. Yes. Stay off the drugs.